Hey everybody, it's Mrs. C, and I'm here to go over some of the basics of the properties involved in multiplying with exponents. So as you see here, I have some pretty basic examples of the principle when multiplying like bases. You add their exponents. I think we all have heard that rule by now in class, and it's just time to practice some of this out. So let's get started. Letter E. We have x cubed times x to the fourth. Because they're both x's, I can multiply those two bases together and as a result add their exponents. Before I do that, I just want to remind you of why this property works. So we have x cubed times x to the fourth. And if we write x cubed in expanded form, we would write x, still working the kinks out on this stylus, x times x times x. And if we were to write x to the fourth out, we would write x times x times x times x. Now, multiplication is implied when letters touch letters or numbers touch letters, so that's why I skipped the dots in the parentheses. So multiplying all those together, you tell me how many x's are being times together, and if you count properly or if you add, you're going to see that we have 7 of them. So really, in exponential form, that would be x to the 7th. Now, that is gained the same way as if you notice that your base number, or your, in this case, base letter, is an x here, and it's an x here. And so what I'm allowed to do is just write the base, because they're both the same. So I have an x base, and then just go ahead and take these two exponents and add them together, because that is essentially how many times you'd write them to be multiplied together. So it would be 3 plus 4 is 7. So that's a little bit faster, don't you agree, than to, have to write them all out in what we call expanded form. So let's just give that another shot. We'll try again. Now, let me just see what I can do here to get that out of the way. I think I can do this. Oh, yeah. All right, let's pick another one. Maybe we'll go right down to the next one, which is letter O. Letter O. What will you have me do? You will have me do 3x squared times x. Now, if we wrote that in expanded form, I just want to show you this one more time. We would write a 3 times is there a number? Well, you could say the coefficient is a 1, right? So it would be a 3 times a 1. I have to put a times between those or it'll look like 31. So 3 times 1 times x times x times x. Okay, so let's go over who's where. You've got this 3 is written there. You've got this 1 is written there. My 2x's from my x squared, oops, sorry, as I was saying, my 2x's are here, and this x is there. So that's a whole lot of arrows drawn just to show you what's going on. You could argue that might be a little bit more complicated or confusing, but I think you see what we're doing here. So if we can focus for a moment on this bottom section right here, we would have a 3 times 1. That would just be a 3. And an x times x times x, which is x cubed. So that would be my final answer. And if we go back to the original, we would see where all that came from. So let me just bring you back to the original. Something's going to have to give with this writing. I don't know. The original was 3x squared times x. And so we see that we had a 3. And then we had the exponent. Don't forget, there's an exponent there. And then it would be the same as just keeping the base and adding those two, x cubed. That's really what's happening. And it's pretty simple, don't you think? All right, let's try another one. How about let's do, I like t. I know I seem to be going in order here, don't I? All right, let's do t. It's 2x squared times 3x. And you should be stopping me at this point and trying it on your own and then coming back, see if you did it right. Okay, so hopefully you're back now. I always go to my coefficients first. I multiply those two numbers first. So let's look at our coefficients. We have a 2 and a 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Then I go to my like bases, and I go in order of like bases. In this case, I only have x's, and so I have an x here and an x with a 1 exponent. So, like bases, x to the, add their exponents, 2 plus 1 is 3. Final answer is 6x cubed. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Let's go to letter H. Let's try letter H. So take a look at letter H, and this time what I'm going to do is I am just going to write the answer instead of copy the problem down. So on letter H, just so that we're all focusing in the right place, that's the problem I'm going to do. I hope you've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is the answer key right here. You should have been seeing all of our answers off to the right side. So it's saying I'm multiplying the quantity of a negative 2x squared times a negative 2x. And because the quantities are all being multiplied together, and inside the quantities is multiplication, outside the quantities is multiplication, it's the same as if those parentheses weren't there. They're just another fancy way of doing dots. So how about we do the coefficient times the coefficient? Negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 4. We have an x squared and an x. What's the exponent of that little x? I'm going to throw it in. It's hard to see. It's a 1. So x squared and an x to the 1 is an x cubed, x to the third. And you'll see that answer is right there. All right, I think you've got it. I feel confident you have it, right? So you know what it's time to do? It's time to get saucy. Wouldn't you say? You might be saying, Mrs. Crusoe, what exactly are you doing with my screen? Well, nothing. Voila, da, 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 da. I reveal the sauciness. Okay, answers are on the right. Problems are on the left. What I want you to do is give this a go. I am going to, at the top now, I think I'm going to do problem number N. Letter N, problem letter N. You give it a go, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. And I'm back. Here we are. This one I'm going to write down, just for the sake of things. It's a 6. A squared. B squared. Times, where did it go? No, don't select all. Thank you. Sorry. Times negative 2ab to the 5th. I know you can't see what's going on with my screen, but I can. And there's all kinds of craziness. All right, let me make sure I copied this one right. This is n that I'm trying to do. 6a squared b squared times negative 2ab to the 5th. And I know some of you are out there thinking, but you didn't put the parentheses. I know that, but I don't need the parentheses because they're all being times together. It's important to know when you need them and when you don't. It'll make things less confusing for you. Let's do the coefficient times the coefficient. Commutative property. I can rearrange these in any order I want. I could write 6 times a negative 2. I could rearrange that. I could put my a's together. Times a squared times a to the 1 times b squared times b to the 5th. And you're noticing I'm not putting the dots because they're too difficult to do with my stylus. So that's the commutative property at work, guys. You just rearrange them at will to make it easier for you to combine like bases and coefficients. That's all it is. It's the reason why we learned these properties, so we could use them to make life easy for us. So let's go ahead and multiply the coefficients. Here they are. 6 times a negative 2 is a negative 12. All right, multiply the a's now. Like bases, a squared times a to the first is a cubed. And let's multiply the b's. Remember, the property of multiplying exponents only works with like bases. That's why I'm grouping them together. B squared, b to the fifth, is b to the seventh. Do you see that answer over in our answer column? I do. There it is. All right, it's easy breezy. It's not a big deal. You're just kind of compartmentalizing, organizing, and then going ahead and multiplying or adding. Really, this is the biggest math we're doing here is multiplying and adding. Everything else is just kind of rearranging and organizing. Let's pick another one. I'm trying to read your minds as to which one you want me to do. I'm going to pick actually G, because I think G might be freaking you out a little bit because there's no parenthesis around the AB. Here, let's fix that. There. Does that make you feel better? Okay. Now there's a parenthesis around the AB. And you know what? I'm going to wind up ignoring it anyway. So if it makes you feel better to put it, A is timesing to B, which is timesing to the quantity of everybody timesing. A negative 4 times an A times a B cubed. It means everybody's timesing together. There's no need for all these parentheses. So what I can do is I can rearrange them in my mind. I always put my coefficient in the front when I rearrange in my mind. Then it's followed by the A and the A. Then it's followed by the B and the B cubed. And you could put those in any order you want. And it's 4A B cubed. So we have a negative 4 times nobody else. Negative 4. A times A squared. B to the 1 times B cubed. B to the 4th. I think you got it, guys. I'm feeling confident that you know it. You feel confident with it. This was answer letter number 8. So let's go on to the next section. All right, take a look at these. They are a little bit, I don't want to say harder, but they're a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more complicated. And so I'm just searching. I'm trying to hear you. I'm trying to feel your pain. I know you're looking at the fraction. Don't freak out. I want to do letter H. Now, since I want to do letter H, I'm just going to get rid of all this for a second so I have room. It's like being in Hollywood. I can just kind of green screen everything. Okay. Well, black screen. Okay. Letter H. A squared B C squared times B squared C cubed times 9A. I don't always arrange, well, to be honest, guys, I never rewrite them. I just rearrange them in my head. So here you are, ready? Get inside my head. We're going to do letter H. We're going to rearrange together, and we're going to multiply all the coefficients together first. There's a 1, there's a 1, there's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 9. Okay, so I only have a 9. Remember, we're doing letter H. Okay, there's an A squared and an A. An A squared and an A, like bases, add A cubed. Go to the B's. I like to do it alphabetically. There's a B and a B squared. The B is a B to the 1. A 1 and 2 is 3, so it's B cubed. Go for the C's. I have a C squared and a C cubed. 2 plus 3 is 5, so I have a C to the 5th, and I gave you an answer key on purpose. I want you double checking. There it is, number 15. So you see the rules are no different. You do it exactly the same way, and if the fraction's freaking you out, look down here at N, what's 3 times 1/3? 3 times 1/3 is the same as saying what's 1/3 of 3? Well, the answer is 1, guys, because timesing by a fraction is the same as, dividing by its reciprocal, or dividing by the dividing by the denominator. Get it? So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1/3 of 3 is 1. All right, anyway, I'll let you come about that fun on your own. I'm going to give you the other half of the page that I erased on you so that you have plenty of practice. And not only practice, but you have an answer key there for you to keep you busy and to verify that you're correct. This way, when we come back to class, we know what we need to worry about, we know what we need to talk about, or we know we got this and we're ready to move on to the next. I'll see you on the flip side, guys. Later, and remember, peace out.